Good Wednesday afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here, live from the First Alert Digital Desk on our daily update, or daily weather update that we do Monday through Friday here at 2 p.m. Thank you for everyone for joining us. We'll take a few minutes here to let some more people join. I want to hope everyone's enjoying the pretty nice day that we have outside right now, and we'll continue to hopefully have a nice day for the rest of today. I'll be going over some of the pattern changes we have towards the end of the week into our weekend, especially when it comes to maybe some more rain chances. Have a look outside right now, and maybe just a look back at our spring, because I know a lot of people have been saying we had a cooler spring, but maybe the stats don't line up quite well with that feeling that we had. Now, again, thank you for everyone joining us. We're taking a look outside right now at our Holton Lake camera, and what you see is a nice day, a little bit breezy. You got some movement in the trees there, but it is obviously a pretty nice day. You still have that haze. We're still dealing with some wildfire smoke right now, maybe something we deal with here over the next couple of days. It's just not really going away, and there doesn't really look to be a pattern that could break that trend here over the next couple of days. Take a quick look right now at our Birch Run camera, and also seeing a similar outlook where you see just a light haze out there, but otherwise clear skies. Traffic looking good right now out there, and just had that car out there on the side of the road there on exit 136, so that may cause some slowdowns for some that are approaching the exit there, but otherwise traffic has looked pretty good throughout the day. We look at our air quality index, again, there is still that haze. We're still seeing moderate ratings across the board. It doesn't really seem to go away. It will lighten up a little bit, maybe tonight into tomorrow, but it still looks like we should hang on to those moderate air qualities at least for another day or so. As we take a look at another view of our air qualities across the board, we can see lots of moderate ratings, especially down to the south. Up to the north, some of those sensors are down, but I'd imagine they are also in that moderate rating. So really just not getting rid of any of that smoke. And there are also some areas across the country that are in really bad shape. South Dakota right now, seeing a lot of unhealthy for sensitive groups. And then into North Dakota, it's even worse today. So I've gotten a few reports from some friends out there in North Dakota that it's really hazy out there. You can definitely smell it. But back here in Michigan, obviously that moderate, a lot of it is aloft at this point. But still obviously can tell that that smoke is there across the region at this point. Now, we take a look once again at air quality index back on here, and I did want to take a look at air quality alerts. While we don't have any here in our region of the state, there is some areas out to the west towards Grand Rapids, Muskegon, along the shoreline there in Lake Michigan that do have air quality alerts in place for the rest of the day. And actually that is for ozone development. We have the conditions just right to see some ozone development. That's going to be temperatures in the 80s, obviously sunlight, a west-southwest wind, and that is definitely an environment that we could see ozone development. Wildfires also helping out a little bit of some of that development. So they are asking you to avoid refueling or topping off your fuel if you are refueling, using gasoline-powered lawnmowers or lawn equipment, and then using any charcoal lighter fluid, because that can help into the development of that ozone. Now, I know not everyone can avoid that, and just try your best to at this point here in the afternoon. Now, we take a look at our traffic real quick. Everything's looking to be in the green. We did have an accident in Lapeer County on I-96 at M24 exit 155 that has been cleared at this point, but did have a few slowdowns as there was a crash that was blocking a few of the lanes there in Lapeer County on I-69. Another big thing for today is southbound I-75, and the Zilwaukee Bridge is now open. We're starting to see the construction be cleared out. So if you've traveled that way, it was a little bit slowed down this morning, has picked up a better pace there on 75, and that is now open. I know that's been a hassle for some here over the last couple of weeks with some of those slowdowns and having to go 675 and just getting around that area. But again, this Zilwaukee Bridge on southbound I-75 is now open, and northbound I-75 will be starting to, the construction on northbound I-75 there will start on August 1st. So obviously that will create some slowdowns if you're heading to the north as we head into August. But for now, things are looking in the good there. There won't be any detours announced right now, but those will be announced prior to the starting of the construction there on 75 by MDOT once they get a little bit closer to August 1st. So obviously, we'll have updates here at WNEM.com once those detours get announced for the next project there on the Zilwaukee Bridge. But Once again, looking at Sky Tracker, it is showing conditions being relatively clear. Again, it is hazy out there right now, but otherwise just some light clouds trying to roll in from the west. That may be what we trend through for the rest of the day as we get closer and closer into tonight and seeing some of those more of those rain chances. And when we zoom out, I definitely want to take a look out there to the west because that's an area that we are seeing some rain. And that will be the rain we have to keep an eye on to see how well it sort of holds together. As this rain in South Dakota, Minnesota, North Dakota, this will continue to move to the east through the rest of our Wednesday into our Thursday. Some rain obviously developing ahead of that as well. And this is those areas that will continue to see that rain chance enter Michigan through tonight into tomorrow, giving us rain chances for most likely Thursday, Friday, and possibly into Saturday. Now, timings aren't going to be all day, I don't think. Does look like you'll get some windows, maybe a nicer afternoon for Thursday, even Friday at times being a nicer day. Just probably some more cloud cover than what we have today. Now, temperatures across the board, they are sitting mostly in the 80s right now. We have 87 Bay City, 82 in Saginaw, 86 in Midland. So getting closer to those 90s right now. Do have a few isolated areas into the 70s. Holton Lake at 79. You got Harbor Beach at 76. Some of those cooler areas, but still at or above average in many locations for this afternoon. We'll continue to see our temperatures stay right in those mid to upper 80s. And when we look at our highs for today, that's really where we're sitting. A lot of areas at 84, 85, a little bit lower. Holton Lake, again, you do have a little bit of a warm-up to go because your highs are expected to be in the lower 80s for today. I think the big thing for today, though, is definitely the wind. So right now we're seeing a southwest wind at 15 to 25 miles per hour. It's definitely a breezy one out there. And we're also seeing gusts up to 40, now 45 miles per hour. Saginaw's had a reading at 43. So it's definitely a noticeable wind out there. We don't have any warnings or advisory for these winds, but anything that isn't secured, if we get a big gust out there, definitely could see some of that those unsecured objects get blown away a little bit by winds like we're seeing in Saginaw right now at 43, Mount Pleasant almost at 30 miles per hour, Flint at 33. So definitely a breezy day. I know it's going to ruin the day for some, even though we're in the 80s. Winds have, I know, get on some people's nerves as we get to this time of year. You just want those calm winds. The good thing is winds do look to calm down as we head into the next couple of hours. By about 6 p.m., most of our wind gusts will be out of the west at maybe 20 to 25 miles per hour, and then continue to calm down as we get through about 9 p.m. in through the night. Our wind gust at most sitting at 5 to 15 miles per hour. So always a good thing to see those winds calming, especially when we have such a nice day and people want to get out there like today. Quick look once again at Sky Tracker is showing us those clear skies, just some light clouds trying to move in from the west, and even those might end up missing us. So plenty of sunshine today. Again, a little bit hazy as we had those air qualities, but I'm going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, because once I come back from this break, I'm going to be going over a little bit of not a preview, but a look back at spring, because I know a lot of people were saying it feels cool, but the numbers don't really show that. And I'll obviously be taking a look at the rest of our week into our weekend with more updates on that. Well, welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here. Thank you to everyone for joining us here live at the First Alert Digital Desk, where we're always going to be live at 2 p.m. on Monday through Friday and a few times on the weekends, especially if we have a more active pattern into the new week. We'll try to get those live streams in on the weekends to keep you updated. But obviously, again, we have a nice sunny day. Hopefully, we can hang on to that. Now, I think we've had a lot of questions recently of what was spring like? Because spring felt a little bit colder. And if you've headed over to our website, WNEM.com, and you go over to our weather tab at First Alert Weather, TV5 First Alert meteorologist Chris Easlick actually wrote up an article yesterday or 2 days ago, it was yesterday, about spring and how it didn't really line up with how people felt. So again, here's this article if you want to go check it out. Again, WNEM.com, go over to First Alert Weather tab, and then our First Alert specials. And there you can catch specials from the First Alert Weather team. We try to put out some stuff every once in a while, some more information on stuff like the tornadoes, some on the winds, and again on temperatures like through what we had during the spring. So take a quick look here at some of the facts that we had from this for anyone that maybe doesn't have the time right now to go read that article, but always go check it out. It is a good read. And what we found was spring wasn't really that much cooler than what we've had. Obviously, we've had some warm springs in the top 10. This year, we had Saginaw at the 17th warmest spring of all time. Flint was 19th. So we definitely had some of those warmer springs, not obviously in that top 10, but it was enough to notice that was just a little bit cooler than maybe the previous few years. Now, not all top 10 were in the most recent years. I think there was a year in the 1970s that was one or two. But obviously, we've had a pretty warm spring compared to other years in the past. And when we start talking about some of the wettest springs, well, we lined up pretty well throughout the area as well. Saginaw was the 32nd wettest spring of all time. Flint at 40th. And, well, Holton Lake, you were up there. Top 5 at 3rd wettest spring of all time. Holton Lake was an area that got 12 plus inches of rain in the spring, and then almost 8.4 inches of snow. So gave you a pretty wet spring across areas of the north, and that's why you're not in that drought. Why we're seeing areas like Saginaw, Midland in that drought right now is you just maybe didn't have the wettest, and you still had rain. It was enough to help improve some areas, but it wasn't enough to totally get rid of that drought. Hopefully we can get to that point here the next couple of months, and obviously Drought Monitor updated on Thursday mornings. We'll have that update here tomorrow at the First Alert Weather Desk at 2 p.m. So if you are someone that keeps an eye on that Drought Monitor, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 2 p.m. Just want to say hi to Tristan, who said hi in our chat. If you have any questions, head over to our Facebook chat, and I'll try to answer them as we go through the stream. Can't always answer them all, but I try my best. Sometimes we try to keep it in our area. I know in the past we've had some people ask for stuff out of the state, and I don't always look at weather out of the state, at least at the finer details, to give you the best forecast for those areas. Now, taking a look at our lows for tonight, what we do see is temperatures maybe on the warmer side for some. It's closer to average for this time of year, in the 50s to the lower 60s. Owasso at 60, Saginaw at 59. You got Flint at 59 as well. So those are some of the warmer areas, definitely down to the south, southwest, into Shiawassee, Genesee County. Up to the north, though, Holton Lake at 50, West Branch 53 are just some of those areas. Just a little bit cooler tonight, but not by much. As we get through the rest of our week with our low temperature outlook, what you see is again tonight and tomorrow, those 60s, upper 50s. We do cool down just a little bit into the end of the week, but our lows not as impacted, mid 50s to the lower 50s by Friday night into Saturday. And it does look like into the start of next week, we actually may have a warmer trend with our highs back in the 80s, and that does end up influencing some of our lows back into those 60s and maybe even closer to the mid to upper 60s, lower 70s by next Tuesday. Now, there's still some time. This will change. We may end up sort of evening out back into those lower 60s, but there is that signal that we could see those upper 60s in our lows by the time we get to really mid next week. And again, winds, they are a factor today, but not for long. By 6 p.m., we do start to see that trend of calming winds, mostly out of the west-northwest. By 6 p.m., 15 to 25 miles per hour. And then as we get through the night into tomorrow morning, winds really do look to calm down. This is Thursday morning, 7 a.m., winds mostly either out of the north-northeast or southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, maybe even calmer than that in some areas. And doesn't look to pick up much through much of the evening. By 7 p.m., could have a few areas at 10 to 20 miles per hour, but very quick gusts and nothing long-term. I don't think anything that's going to go ruin your day if you're someone that doesn't like the winds across the state. As we look at our Friday winds, by the morning, 9 a.m., 10 to 20 miles per hour. Once again, this is again from the north-northeast, so we do have a little bit of a wind shift as we head towards the weekend, but still on the calmer side. I'd say 15 to 20 miles per hour by Friday afternoon. Saturday, it's really more of the same. None of those extreme winds or stronger winds like we're seeing today. This is 8 a.m. on Saturday, mostly from the east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now, when we look at our surface smoke, I know this is something that people want to get rid of, and we really just haven't been able to. It does lighten up just a little bit more through this afternoon. We can see, and I'll actually scroll back real quick through the next hour or so, that maybe heaviest smoke, haziest areas, especially to the east, do start to lose that sort of haze. Now, it is still here through the night into tomorrow. There may be a few areas tomorrow morning to the far north that you actually do get to clear up just a little bit. But as long as those fires are still burning up in Canada, we do continue to see those smoke chances either at the surface or aloft. Because the one thing to look at as we take a look at our vertical smoke here is there is some heavier areas of smoke that want to roll in by 8 p.m. tonight, but this is all aloft, not reaching the surface. Still will have impacts on our air qualities, but not as bad as maybe what we were seeing last week and the week before when it comes to that smoke chance. So we can see we can keep pulling this out. By Friday morning, it does look like some smoke that's been sitting over areas like Tennessee, sort of stalled out there in the atmosphere, does start to move itself back into Michigan. But again, most of that looks to be aloft for the end of the week into the weekend. So maybe not much seeing it at the surface, but definitely seeing some of those discolored skies in areas that do maybe get some clear skies by the weekend. Quickly, hour by hour here, doesn't have much to show for today. 6 p.m., a little bit more cloud cover, trying to roll itself into the state from the west, but you're still going to be looking at sunshine, still be dealing with that haze. Once we get into Thursday morning, it does appear that some rain chances will start to move in from the west. Now, how widespread will it be? I think it's the biggest question. There's been a little bit of disagreements with the models of how widespread this rain is, but I suspect to see some rain from Holton Lake down to Saginaw, then more isolated chances of rain down there in Shiawassee, Genesee County. Again, this line has sort of moved north or south based on the model run, so don't be surprised if you do get this rain as it moves in. Now, again, not as widespread right now, but that could change as this moves in. We saw that on Monday as maybe some of that line started to expand itself. Thursday afternoon, though, you look to be dry. We'll actually have some sunshine once again. A decently nice afternoon for Thursday after that rain early in the morning. We get to Friday, we'll have some more rain chances early in the day. This is 6 a.m. Areas up to the far north towards Holton Lake, West Branch, seeing that rain chance, more isolated chances as you move down to the south into Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, down to Lapeer and Flint, more isolated chance early Friday morning. And again, there is signals that we may be drier through Friday afternoon. There has been, though, a signal that we could see some isolated chances into Friday afternoon, but I don't think it's anything that's going to ruin your day if you did have plans for Thursday and Friday, especially in the afternoon. So don't go cancel anything quite yet, especially if maybe you're traveling and don't want to deal with that rain. You may end up getting in the clear by Friday afternoon, and then we'll just have to keep an eye on that rain chance for maybe early Saturday, maybe trying to move itself back down to the south as we get through this sort of next system. Now, I did want to take another quick preview at Father's Day because this is Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all our fathers out there. And what we see is a decently nice day. Temperatures into those 70s once again, mostly cloudy skies. That'll be the one thing that may ruin it for some of our fathers. But I think it'll be a nice day that rain can stay away to get out there and grill for any of our fathers, get some good food to celebrate Father's Day that is, again, this Sunday. Take another look at our 7-day forecast, or take a look at our 7-day forecast, I should say. You get 80s for today, a little bit breezy at times. Once that rain chance comes in tomorrow, it does maybe pull in a little bit cooler air, some more cloud cover. So we do see highs in the 70s, maybe a few areas in the upper 60s for Thursday and Friday. Saturday also shows maybe some upper 60s, more widespread. As we get into Sunday, though, Father's Day is when we start to see that recovery, maybe a Father's Day present for some, as we do look to have maybe some nicer pattern into Monday and Tuesday, where temperatures return back into the lower 80s on Monday, stay in the 80s on Tuesday. We do have an isolated rain chance there for Tuesday, maybe afternoon. We'll keep an eye on it. Again, it's a long ways out. Things could change between now and then. That rain chance may end up moving itself a little bit later. It may end up going away altogether. But right now, there is signals we could see some isolated chance of rain on Tuesday. But right now, it doesn't look like it'll be anything that will ruin your day. And thank you to everyone for joining us here at the First Alert Digital Desk. Again, we're live Monday through Friday, trying to keep you up to date with your local weather and weather across the region. Thank you for everyone that joined us. If you missed out, you can go over to our YouTube channel or Facebook where this stream will be there as well. And always go check out WNAM.com for the latest news, and go over to the First Alert Weather tab where you can catch the latest weather updates from your TV5 First Alert Weather team. Again, thank you for everyone that joins us. We'll leave it on our Birch Run camera real quick, and I hope everyone has a good rest of your day, avoids any of that haze that we still have left over, and hopefully you can have a good, nice end to your week.